with a spare in the 6th frame. Now we're going to find out Joe's new incentive for the new year.
Well, yes, at the end of the fall tour, I was informed that my wife was going to have twins. So I figured I had to come out here and work all that much harder. I mean, it was a great surprise. I love children. I have 2 now, a boy and a girl, and I miss them quite a bit. But this new incentive has made me revert back to the bowler I was.
Mark Roth in the 6th frame, leaving the 2-4. Joe and Debbie Berardi.
Now Roth struggling. High on the left lane, light on the right lane. He's a 2-4 spare. He will still trail by 45 pins.
And remember, he won the first game over Jim Pensack, 207 to 170. The winner of this game will meet Pete Weber from Florissant, Missouri, and then Walter Ray Williams, Jr.
Roth, who has a great record in the AC Delco Classic in 9 participations in tournaments here. He's made the TV championship round 4 times. He has a 1st, a 2nd, a 5th, and if he doesn't get going here right now, he'll have a 4th to add to that record. Trails by 45, 7th frame, must start striking.
And it's another 10-pin for Mark Roth. Remember last week he finished 2nd in Las Vegas to Amleto Monicelli. And this is frustrating for the competitor that he is.
Packed house of expert bowling writers. Don Schneider from the Los Angeles Times, and of course Bob Johnson, the freelance writer, does so much quality work around the country in attendance today.
Mark Roth had a victory last year in Buffalo, but prior to that, his last win was in 1984. This great champion is trailing by 46 pins in his 2nd match of the afternoon. Winning over Jim Pensack in the 1st, now trailing his roommate, Joe Berardi of Brooklyn. Joe is up in the 7th frame, spare working, leading by 46. A high hit, a 3-6-10.
Both players obviously struggling, as we saw last week in the Las Vegas tournament. And what happens on the lane conditions like this, the PBA oils the lanes 48 feet. That's much farther than you normally see in league conditions. What happens, that oil gets carried farther and farther down the lane and makes it very difficult to control.
Sliding by the 3 at 24 miles an hour.
Well, Berardi, who seems to have this match well in hand, kind of opened the door for Roth with that particular shot. He would have maintained a 43-pin lead as he quickly grabs his ball, but he slides by the 3-6-10 pins, leaving the 3 pins standing, but he still has a 32-pin lead. But the match is up for grabs. 8th frame.
The sleeper 8 just rocking back there. 2-8. On the left lane for Joe Berardi as Pete Weber gets up, warms up. You hear the pin fall.
Same shot that we saw Mark Roth end up with there in the 6th frame. Berardi pins have in the 8th frame. Head pin goes to sideboard, takes out the 4 and 7 pins, leaves the 2-8. Once again, the key pin, the back pin, the 8 pin.
Okay, it's a sunny day in Torrance, California, suburb of vast Los Angeles. We're here for the 11th time at the Gable House, and the owner there is the right of your screen, Jack Cogan, with his son Mickey, the manager, on the left, and in the striped shirt, great race driver, his son Kevin Cogan.
Mark Roth, 8 frames, spare working, trails by 32. He still has a chance, but he has to start throwing strikes right here.
There's Pete Weber. Look at that smile, but there will be very few smiles when he's competing, believe me. Intense.
4 of the greatest bowlers on the Professional Bowlers Tour here in the final 4 players. Roth, the all-time money winner. Joe Berardi won 3 major titles. All he needs is the Toledo Trust Corp title, the PBA National. And Toledo win that this year, he'd be the 3rd winner of bowling's Triple Crown to go along with Petraglia and Hardwick. Then we have Walter Ray Williams Jr. and, of course, Weber. Now here's Roth. Must shot.
Didn't get it. A 3-6-10.
Just see Roth's rhythm off. The ball slows down. He's 17 miles an hour on one, then he's 15 on the next. Here's a 15-mile-an-hour shot. The ball drifts high, leaves the 3-6-10 spare, which I believe Roth will make, but he's in so much trouble here. The best Roth can do is 192. Berardi going at a 2:14 pace.
Mark with a spare in the important ninth frame. Now Joe Berardi, whose very first television win was the United States Open in 1979, adding that Masters, adding the Firestone in '83. Ten again.
Despite the 10-pin, Roth, that Berardi left on that particular shot, you could see how calm and smooth he was. He waited for the ball, made a real good shot, and so he seems to have his nerves and this match under control.
Joe Berardi is in his 31st television appearance. His pal Mark Roth is 97th. Here we go. Next week to Grand Prairie, Texas. Grand people there, Bo, for the 150,000 Quaker State Open. Then to Harvey, Louisiana, near New Orleans for the Greater New Orleans Classic. Don Carter Lane, Venice, Florida, for the Bowler's Journal, Florida Open. Then to Miami, Miller Tournament. Joe has a lot of fans here in Southern California.
And with that particular shot, he locks up the match. Chris, he's going to be at least in the 200s, much more than Roth, and he'll go on to meet Pete Weber in the semifinals. Going to be exciting. Stay tuned.
It's the $150,000 Quaker State Open next Saturday on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour.
Okay, back again in Torrance, California. Joe